Hi, I welcome you to Relationship Talks with Dimmalife. You can like our Twitter page at Dimmalife.com. The D and the C are capital letters. Our Facebook page is Dimmalife.com and our website is Dimmalife.com. So today we'll be talking about courtship. What is courtship? Courtship is a period between the marriage proposal and when the actual wedding takes place. That is when the parties involved in a relationship agree to get married. The time between when they agree to get married and when the actual wedding takes place is the period that I can define to be courtship. Courtship is a very important stage in which intending couples should take very seriously. It is the period that should be approached both prayerfully and with care and open mind. Why do I say that? Because most of the times there are lots of things that happen in marriage that ought to have been addressed, assuming the parties involved had an effective and productive courtship. So basically, the essence of courtship is to enable the parties know whether the relationship can or will eventually lead to marriage. It's not all relationships that lead to marriage. Sometimes people get together, see themselves as partners, and they plan towards getting married, they work towards it, but sometimes the wedding or the marriage never happens. So the essence of courtship is to know if the relationship will eventually lead to marriage. So courtship is mostly a period of talking. A lot of talking should happen during courtship. You talk, you discuss issues, and many other things. So I would say, talk the talk in courtship, and then walk the talk in marriage. That's you do the talking in courtship, and then walk that talk in your marriage. So, whenever I hear some people express frustration, disappointment, or even regret towards their spouses over some vital information that they didn't know about or were not told before the marriage, I remember the need for effective and efficient courtship before marriage. It's something that shouldn't be taken lightly. The truth is that most of these regrets and disappointments can lead to very unhappy and challenging marriage. Some of them even end up leading to divorce. And the couples divorce themselves. So courtship is a period that partners should ensure that they talk. They should ensure that they are on the same page. There shouldn't be secrets. When partners in a relationship notice that one of them are keeping secrets, it's a red flag that should be addressed. Okay. Then some people may ask the importance of courtship. It's a very important period in a relationship. And when people in relationship maximize their courtship, it helps in their marriage. It makes the marriage to be smoother. They have a smoother marriage and they have a less challenging marriage, because most of the issues that will come up during the marriage would have been discussed during the courtship period. So, I would say it's a period that precedes dating. When you date, you may not be that serious about the relationship, but it's also part of the process preparing for courtship. But once you are in courtship, you already have marriage in mind. The aim of courtship is for a relationship to end up in marriage. So the goal of courtship is marriage. But that doesn't mean that all courtship must end up in marriage. The way the courtship ends depends on the compatibility and many other factors that occurred during the courtship. So what are the things that intending couples should be talking about during courtship? Because sometimes you see people in a relationship, all you do is you go about, maybe take yourselves out, eat, drink, have fun, and all those things, but you never discuss the key issues in that relationship. You don't take time to talk about things that will help to form a strong foundation for that relationship when it eventually ends up in marriage. So, the success or otherwise of any relationship is highly dependent on how effective the partners communicate with each other. Okay, there is no end to talking in any successful relationship. You start talking and you keep talking. Communication is very, very key. Then, let's look at some of the points that could serve as guide or that could guide intending couples in their courtship. The first one is family background. You and your intending partner are obviously two different people, and you are from different backgrounds with different orientation. Therefore, there is need to talk about your upbringings. You share your childhood experiences, where you are brought up. Were you brought up by a single parent or both parents? You discuss these issues because your life is a build-up of the experiences you've accumulated over the years, and you are meeting someone that has different set of experiences as a result of exposure or whatever they've been through. So when you discuss your family background, it helps both of you to understand yourselves better. It removes some assumptions. It helps you to know where the other person is coming from. Then the next point you should also talk about is your cultural differences. This is more applicable when you have intertribal partners. For example, if the two partners involved come from different tribes with different cultural orientation, it's needful that you talk about it. You discuss some of these cultural differences because these are some things that could come up when you eventually marry, and they will become issues. You see some people saying, this is how my people do it. This is our cultural heritage. This is how we do it. And the other partner is totally unaware of such. There are some places too that have some cultural practices that may not be in line with the other partner. But when you discuss some of these cultural differences during your courtship, it helps you to deal with any issue that could come up to haunt your marriage later. Then let's talk about finance or money matter. Money is one of the areas that can create tensions in a relationship if it's not well handled. Most people in relationship get quite uncomfortable and find it very difficult to talk about money, but it shouldn't be so. However, it's a matter that you cannot shy away from because it has a ripple effect on almost all areas of any relationship. Money affects many decisions in a relationship. So when you are in a courtship with someone, what do? You discuss things that involve finance, money matter. Under this financial matter, you talk about your debts, because when you get to courtship stage, there is actually nothing to hide again. It's not like you're just getting to know the person. You've known this person for some time, and both of you are already considering marriage. One of the foundations of good marriage, great marriage, is openness. Transparency is very, very important. You don't need to undermine it. So you open up to yourselves about your finances. You talk about your debts. If you have any debts, you talk about them. Talk about your income, your expenditure patterns. You discuss about each other's views on savings and investments. When you talk about this, it will help you to understand how your partner reasons. It's actually during the time of talking and discussing that you get to know yourselves better, and you also get to build friendship. You share your views on having a joint account or single account. You share your views about even expenditure patterns. These are things you discuss under finance. Then you also talk about work and family balance. This is very important because I have seen newlyweds having serious issues as a result of the husband telling the wife to stop working against her wish immediately after they got married. So if work and family balance was discussed before the marriage, they would have reached a compromise on that issue before marriage. There are some men that